So today we're talking about offline marketing ideas. It's 2024, so just in case you need to know that, some of these might get a little bit dated over time. I don't like to think about that actually, but there we go. Now, back when I first started teaching, I don't know, let's call it 15, 16, 17 years ago, the offline marketing need was much higher because whilst social media obviously existed, it wasn't quite in the same shape and form as it is now in terms of the types of things that you could put up. But it was the glory days where you could post a Facebook event and people would respond to it and let you know if they were attending and then ask their mates, that kind of thing. So that did work really well. However, alongside that, there was obviously a lot of offline marketing. We did flyers, posters, all the usual, went into shops, all that kind of stuff. And then over time, the focus on that type of stuff has decreased a lot. We often focus on social media because it's much easier to kind of understand the metrics. We're looking for likes and followers and plays and all that kind of thing, comments, and you can see where people are coming from. But often, and especially these days with changes in the algorithm and the massive increase in the amount of people using the platforms for business, our reach has diminished compared to the number of followers that we have. So that means that the platforms are showing our content to less people purely because there are so many people on there, and they prioritize the accounts that have got lots of traffic going through them. So lots of watch times, plays, and all that kind of stuff. Now, with this, we need to start thinking outside of the box. So today, I wanted to talk to you about 5 things that I have done recently or I'm in the process of doing that have had either great results for me or great results for my colleagues that do the same job as me. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is this little VIP pass. So if you're listening to this rather than watching it, I made a free class pass on a business card. Had them printed at Instant Print, which is a UK-based company in case you're not, and you need to find an alternative. They were the cheapest I could find at the time, and I just designed them. A friend at a gym that I go to and that I PT from did the same thing for their spin classes. He said he had great results, so I thought I'd try it, and so far so good. In terms of how I'm using it, how I designed it, first of all, was so that it was very clear and I made it class specific so that I could give it to people in that class for them to ask their friends to go to that class with them for free. And that was the idea of these cards, was more for a motivation on referrals so that their friend could come for free, they could break down that barrier to entry. Everyone's got that friend that keeps saying they're going to come. Well, now there's no excuse because here is a free class, you have to come with me, kind of deal. On that class pass, I then had a discount code, which you could use in any class, but was specifically aimed at that class, that one class. So for example, like Zumba VIP, for example, that was a discount code. Then on the back, I had a little map to the venue, details on how to use it, where to go, and then a QR code to scan so that it was quick for people to scan on their mobile and then go and book. Now, the design work took no time at all, really. I just used a template on Canva and then edited it to follow the same design as the one that my friend had. And if you are listening to this rather than watching it, that's fine. Just drop me a message and I will send you a picture of mine. And then you can just copy it and make your own. This pass was then given to people in my class to start with who wanted to take it into work or whatever. They took loads, so then I had to get more, and now I just use them. I give 2 or 3 to each new person at the end of the class so that they can then invite their friends to come with them. And it seems to be working quite well. So for example, the pattern that I'm seeing come back with this is people tend to come in twos, right? Especially for the first time. So they come with their friends, they've both used my newbie code that I post on social media. So I do 50% off their first class if they book online, which for me is to dissuade people from turning up because I don't do paper park queues anymore. They're all online, it takes too long. I want them to set up their account, filled in their park queue and so on before they come. So that is my way of dissuading them to try to just turn up for that first class. So all the admin is done and I don't have to use any paper. Secondly, then they come with their friend, they turn up with their mate. This mate loves it too. They both want to come back. What I then do is I follow up with them and give them both a discount on a 3-class pass. So they have to use those classes within 2 months. They can use the discount code to get that, and I get more time with them. Now, at some point during those classes, their mate's not going to be able to come with them, one or the other. And they still want to come, but they need to bring a friend. And now they can persuade their friend to come with them. So then this new friend comes, they can use the discount code, and then there's 3 of them another week, or on cycle, or whatever. You know, people aren't normally like every single week, are they? So that is how I'm using it. I also gave the discount cards to the 3-class pass, to people in local businesses, to their staff. So I went into shops and salons and I gave them for them to give to their staff. So I got a couple from that, but that wasn't as good as using it as a referral tool, because these are people that are already coming, so they're already going to like it and tell other people about it. So that's why the class is free. Normally I don't do free first classes, but I think it's different when it's breaking down a barrier to entry for people who already want to come, but just need that extra little push to do it. And the value side of it is a quite nice attraction for people. So there's no real cost to them apart from their time. The second thing, and this might not be possible for everybody, but I'm just going to roll with it. I had a fixed banner put up outside my venue. Now, this hasn't always been possible for me at all, but I had a chat with the school and said, look, I really do need a bit of help, and it would be really nice if you could get the banner up for me. And they agreed, and now there's a 6-foot by 3-foot banner of my face and my classes hanging outside my venue. So it's obviously weatherproof, obviously eyelets for the cable ties, and I didn't put too much information on it. I just put my face dancing so they can see what I look like, the 3 logos of the main 3 dance fitness classes that I teach, because I specifically only wanted to target those with this banner because they're like entry level in terms of getting people in for the first time. And then I wrote at the top, dance fitness classes here every Tuesday and Thursday, and then like my business name, Google Anna Martin Fitness, because it's too high up for them to do anything. Like they can't, and people are driving past, right? It's on an intersection, so they just need to see. And all it said was massive letters, Anna Martin Fitness. So in their head they can go, oh, Anna Martin something, and then they can Google me later. If they're walking past, obviously it's much easier, right? They can just take a picture of it. Now, that's worked really well. So both these first 2 ideas I've had implemented for probably about 6 weeks now, and I'm steadily having new people off the back of both. I would say that the banner has been more successful in terms of bringing completely new people that obviously aren't related to the people in my classes, which is great because then I have my VIP cards to follow up for them to give to their friends afterwards. Right, my third thing, which is something that I've just designed today and that's going out this week, which is a really old school thing actually, it's something I used to do right at the beginning. It's a flyer specifically, because it's a school that I teach out of, to go in the book bags of the children at the school. Now, you don't necessarily need to be teaching in a school for this to happen. It might be that you work at one, or a friend does, or a school's next door to your venue or something. Or even if it isn't a school and you have the opportunity for them to be given out to the congregation or to the attendees of who, you know, other clubs and stuff. As long as you're not in competition with each other, it would make sense for you to do that for each other. Anyway, so it's now a flyer that gives the parent, in my case, a free class, and I will specifically be writing on there for adults only, so as not to get confused that they can bring kids or anything like that. And at the bottom, it has like a serrated edge, you can see in the picture if you're not listening online. And on that is for them to tear off or cut off and give it to a friend for free. So the same thing, they're getting this free class. And whilst I know the discount code is going to work for everyone, sometimes it is nice to show what I want them to do. And that is to bring a friend with you for free too. And here, you know, use this code. Now, incidentally, I'm using a different discount code on these flyers than I am for my free VIP passes. This is so I can track how many of each thing are being used, and so I can see what's being successful. So that's going out directly in book bags. I don't do a lot of door-to-door flyering anymore. I used to when I started, and it was highly effective the first flyer drop I ever did, and then less and less effective as time has gone on. And I'm not saying that it won't work where you live, but where I live, it's really densely populated. We get junk mail all day, every day. Like, I don't even look at mine. I let mine accumulate in my post box, and then once a month I just throw it all in the bin, and then I'm done. And I think the volume for me where I live is so much higher, so it's not worth it. But if you live in like a smaller town or a village, it might still work really well for you, because there might be slightly less crap that people are getting through their mailbox. Okay, the other thing that I'm doing at the moment is they have just opened a like Tesco, can't remember what it's called, but the mini ones on the high street, probably about 100, 200 metres away from my venue. So they have a community board up, and it's very local to where I teach, so everyone's in walking distance that would potentially be popping up the shop on a Sunday night. It's very, very local. So I'm going to do a specific poster for there with a discount code on, and it'll say something like Tesco, blah, blah, blah. And that is, again, so I can track how many people are coming from that one thing, and I can see if it's working. If it works, I will bother doing it in another shop up the road. But Tesco's has the most footfall because it's Tesco. And so that's where I'm going to start, rather than starting with a smaller shop that potentially has less footfall. My fifth thing is that I have an A-frame, like an A1, A-frame board, I think it's A1, out that I have, it's like fold out, that I chain to the fence outside of my venue when I'm teaching. This is so, one, new people can find me a bit easier because we go up a side gate, and secondly, so that people walking past, of which there are many, because it's not a main road, but it's like busy enough, and it's the kind of place where people would walk like to the pub or to the shop or home from the bus stop. So there are quite a few people walking past. There's a lot of people driving past as people come past on the bus, so they can see it as well from that angle and know exactly where the entrance is. So on that is going to have new postages come in, really similar stuff to the banner that I've got outside the main front, so that it's really easily recognisable for people as they're popping past. So they can see, oh, that's that girl I saw on that poster. Oh, yeah. So it's like a reminder, so it's another touch point. Another thing that I'm looking at, which I need to measure first, is the old school flags. So you have like the pole and then the linen-y knot flags, that come down the side. Obviously, these would have less information on my A-frame, but they do fly in the breeze and they do attract quite a lot of attention. So I need to work out if I can store them in my shed, which I've got on site. And obviously, then you have them in like those little sandbox things or water boxes that you stick the pole in. So first of all, I need to work out the logistics of that. But that will be another thing on my to-do list. Now, if you have a really easy access venue where you can just haul that in and out, then great. Obviously, if you're bringing everything in your car, I'd say the A-frame is better because it does just slide in that gap between your back seat and your front seat. So it's a lot easier. But I do chain it up. You might live in a lovely area where no one nicks anything, but it would need chaining where I live. And the other thing that obviously I get the waterproof poster, but I also put a sheet of Perspex in front of it. Obviously the poster's waterproof anyway, so it's fine, but just so that no one can draw a penis on my forehead or something whilst I'm teaching and I'm not outside the front, because nobody needs that in their life, let's be honest, not after we've just forked out for a sexy waterproof poster. So that's 5 ideas. I'm just going to quickly recap them. And these are specifically, so they're not social media, because I post and stuff exactly the same as you guys, but my classes are in person. I want in-person people to come. If they're anything like me, they don't go on social media half as much as they used to. I literally go on it, post like just a few people's stuff, and then I'm out. And that is probably, I think, and I see it in my class, they're not on it. They don't like my posts as much. They don't comment on them as much. I had to start a WhatsApp group to keep them up to date with what was going on because they just weren't checking my Facebook group, which is absolutely fine. I totally get it. But if they are indicative of other people in that age bracket and my age bracket, then I've got to look at different ways of getting in touch with people. So that is one of the reasons why I'm specifically focusing on offline marketing at the moment. My social media is not changing, I'm still posting, but I need to do other stuff. So there we have it. We've got the VIP Class Pass, which I personally am only using for referrals. So that is for my current client base to give to people that they know want to come. Secondly, a static banner that is tied up high so no one can draw a penis on my forehead outside the main entrance of the venue. Third one, I'm doing a book bag drop thing, so the free class to go home with the children. Fourth thing was something else. What was it? Oh yeah, I'm going to put a poster up in Tesco with a separate discount code on. And the fifth one is my A-frame, which I've had for ages. Don't always bother getting it out if I'm honest, but you know, new start, it's October, why not? A-frame, which is just one, to reassure people they're going in the right place, and secondly, to let all those passers-by know what's going on and why there's so much racket coming out of the hall at that time. Okay, I hope they're helpful. I hope they help you. Do let me know how it's going. Do let me know if it's working for you. And also share the ideas. Like if there's anything else that you think of and then you try and it works really well for you, do let me know. The book bag thing, my friend has just done and it's worked really well. So they got quite a good amount of influx of people in, which is what we all want, right? We're going to get them in before it gets too cold and no one wants to come at all. Okay. I'm going to stop talking, but I really hope that's helpful. Tune in again soon for more business chats. AMF World is here for all your choreo needs, so if you need anything, do scroll through the library, have a look at things, and let me know if you think there's anything missing, and I will get on it.